Hey stars, it's me, Shar the Star, and I'm back. Hope you guys had a great week and working on having a great weekend. I don't know about you guys, but here in New Jersey, it feels like winter. And yesterday was the first official day of spring, but today feels like winter, real talk. Just to let you guys know, I'm drinking just some regular lemonade, just regular lemonade, people. I have some stories for you guys, and let's get to it. I don't know if you guys heard about the woman that was killed in jail while being on a conjugal visit with her husband. Okay. Okay. So let's get into this. Wife strangled during a conjugal visit with husband behind bars for quadruple murder. Family says she was pushing him to try to be this better person. Okay. So we're going to have to dig into this a little bit, just a little bit. Okay, so her name is Stephanie Dowles, and her husband name is David Brinson. And huh, apparently, a California woman having a conjugal visit with her husband, a convicted killer serving 4 consecutive life terms for a quadruple murder, was strangled by the 54-year-old, which he tried to play off by saying she passed out. Okay? So David Brinson, an inmate at Mule Creek State Prison, is accused of killing his wife, Stephanie Dowell, 62 years old, in November 2024, while the two of them were behind bars together late one night having their visit, according to the Amador County Sheriff's Office and California Department of Correction. Okay? So the story goes, she's on a conjugal visit with her husband, and they're not quite sure around what time, um, but they're assuming around 3 o'clock in the morning. At some point, he strangled her and he killed her, and waited a little time, and then alerted the sheriffs that she passed out. So then, of course, they're going to come in and they tried to revive her, which she was already deceased, right? Okay. Now, I remember telling you guys that he's a convicted killer serving 4 consecutive life terms for a quadruple murder. Now keep that in mind. Okay. Now, see, I don't know how states how it works, but apparently in 1994 he was convicted of gunning down 4 people in a robbery. Okay. Um, so they knew his background. And what they're saying now, after investigating this, because this happened in November, and the investigation just closed. Now, mind you, he has nothing to lose. He's already convicted of. He's doing 4 lifetimes. So at that point, you have to be extra careful with him because he has nothing to lose. What are you going to do? Give him more time? He's already doing 4 lifetimes. Okay, so um, this is crazy. So what they're saying is he should have never even been able to receive conjugal visits because his crime was violent. He should have never even been able to be with anyone without being supervised, regardless of the relationship status. Even if it was his wife, he should have never been able to be around her or with anyone unsupervised because of the violent nature of his crimes. So I think that her family, mind you, she's a mother of two and a grandmother of six. They don't really give any background of how long they had been married, if she married him while he was there, or whatever that case was. They really don't. I'm sure I will hear a little more about this. But again, there's not a lot more to say about it, to be really honest with you, because the shade of it all is he's already in there doing 4 life terms. So, I mean, I don't even think, I mean, I'm not going to, I don't even know what to say in this case because, again, they're saying now, Department of Correction and the lawyers in the courts are saying he should have never even been allowed to have a conjugal visit. He should not be alone with anybody unsupervised because of his convictions. So the mistake was made somewhere along the line. And clearly, it wasn't him and it wasn't her. It had to be the department. So apparently, that may open some doors for her family to, sue. Okay, so we're going to move on. Sure. Now, getting to this one. Okay, this one is going to be a kiki for real. Well, it's not a kiki, but I mean, we talking about weird and make you, this is going to make you, Okay. Did you hear about the woman who killed her dog at the airport when she was told that she wouldn't be allowed to bring him on the flight? Okay, let's go. Woman kills dog at airport after she couldn't bring pet on plane. Okay, now this is her, so we don't make any mistakes. And I mean, don't go by looks because crazy doesn't have a look. So, people, I've read some things and people are like, oh, look at her. You could tell she was crazy. Look, crazy doesn't necessarily have a look. So stop it. You know what I mean? Real talk. Okay, let's dig into this a little bit because I want to go. I've heard other people talk about it. I tell you, seriously, a lot of people would want to give her life, or what they're saying. I think this is more mental illness, more mental illness than anything. Okay? Okay. Police said a Florida woman who was arrested on Tuesday killed her dog at the Orlando International Airport, right? Her name is Allison Lawrence. She's facing an aggravated animal cruelty charge, which is a third-degree felony in the state of Florida. The Orlando Police Department told Newsweek the offense is punishable by a prison sentence up to 5 years and a maximum fine of $10,000. Okay, so there she can face up to 5 years in prison or $10,000, right? Lawrence was at the airport for a flight to Colombia on December 16, 2024, okay, according to the Orlando police. She brought her 9-year-old miniature schnauzer named Twin with her, okay? She was told by the airline that she did not have the right paperwork with her, so her dog could not take the flight. So I'm going to tell you what somewhat of a witness said, and then I'm going to tell you what I think, okay? Airport staff told Lawrence she did not have the right paperwork with her, so she could not take the dog on the flight. Officials responded to the airport on December 16th after an employee found a dead animal in the woman's restroom before the security checkpoint. Police said they found a dead dog and dog accessories inside of a trash bag. Okay? Now, a woman who was working at the airport told police that she saw a woman sitting on the floor of the bathroom stall and cleaning up water and dog food. Okay, so she's sitting there, she's cleaning up puddles of water and dog food. Okay? They went to videotapes or whatever. Officials later identified the woman sitting on the bathroom floor as Lawrence. Okay? The employee left the area to attend to a cleanup emergency. When she returned to the women's restroom, Lawrence was leaving the stall with a purse and a suitcase. Okay? It said the worker then removed the trash bag and found the deceased animal, according to the affidavit. A leash, collar, and dog tags were also found in the trash. Okay? However, police said Lawrence's name and contact information were on the dog tags. All right, so she was arrested eventually. I don't necessarily, okay, I'm used to people, this is 2025. I'm used to people treating their animals like people and their children and members of the family. Animals are not like, I mean, our pets are not like how some people used to really view their animals. We view them as family members, as we should. Okay. Um, but however, for what was going on with this flight, that this woman had to catch this flight where she couldn't postpone her flight either to later on that day or the following day to go home and get the right paperwork because apparently she had some type of feelings for this animal. First of all, we know that it was 9 years old. I don't know if she had it the entire 9 years old, but apparently she had some feelings for it because she took it to the airport and took it to go with her on a trip. If she didn't care about it, she could have left it at home on its own. So she attempted to take it with her on a trip, which means she cared about it to a point, right? Then when she's told she can't take it, you decide your resolution to that would be to take that dog to a restroom and drown it, take its life because it can't get on this flight. That's mental illness. I would much rather her take the dog outside of the airport doors. I mean the doors of the airport. I'm not saying take it down a ramp and around and around and around. I mean, if you're gonna do that, I would rather you go up to departures, arrivals, wherever there's nobody at. And open up when the doors open up, let the dog go and leave him. I would rather you do that than to take a dog into the restroom. And apparently, from what the scene looked like, she apparently drowned the dog in the toilet, the commode. That's why it was puddles of water on the floor. She clearly didn't do it in the sink. Um, Listen, that's mental illness. To be able to even do that to your dog or to any animal, that's not regular. It's not regular for you to take anything and hold it against its will to the point where it dies. You know what I mean? We're not talking about fishing. We're talking about something that really, yeah, listen, I don't have to go through it. You guys know what I mean. This is mental illness as far as I'm concerned. Allegedly, however, whatever, whenever. That's how I see it. Um, I don't know. So giving her 5 years or making her pay a $10,000 fine, that's all grand. But they need to check. She needs to be checked out. Why wasn't her rational thought? Let it go. Call someone to say, listen, can you take my dog? Why? Or just let it go. Someone would have picked up that dog. You can tell a kept dog to a dog that's been out there for a while. So come on, come on. So listen, guys, I'm going to move on from this, but I think I consider that mental illness. That really is what that is for me. Okay. Okay. So we're going to move on. Man, we're going to move on. I don't know why this is not going on. Hello? Hello? Okay. So we're going to take this to, um, his name is Jason Fauntleroy. Okay. Jason Fauntleroy. This story takes place in Trenton, Ohio. Okay. So apparently, 3 years ago, Jason Fauntleroy apparently went to an auction to buy some land. And with that land, um, he wanted to build his home. He wanted to build a home on this land. Okay. So what happened was He thought he was buying a plot of land for $5,000. And what happened was he bought it. The city apparently owned this land. It was some land that was abandoned, whatever. We'll get a little further into that. But however, the city was selling off the land, and they thought they were selling this plot of land. They auctioned it off for $5,000. But come to find out, they didn't know what they had because this was the property. It was like a private little neighborhood, which was a cul-de-sac, and are aware of a cul-de-sac. They thought they were selling him a little plot of land, but because it was owned by HOA previously, it wasn't one plot of land, it was the entire block. So instead of them thinking they're selling him one plot, they actually sold him the entire block. And now they want it back. Okay. They have tried to, I guess, buy it back for the 5,000. Of course, he knows what it's worth now. It's an entire block. It's not a plot of land. And if I'm not mistaken, there's like 6 houses on this block. It's a cul-de-sac, and he wants them to pay what it's worth. And now they're trying to. I can't remember exactly the words, but they're trying to use this other way of taking the land from you when they say that they're going to use it for something else. So, you know, which would be free for them. Okay. So I want to show you the land and explain to you what I'm talking about. Um, let's see. Yeah, let's do that. Okay. So this is the land, right? No, okay. So this is the neighborhood. Now, this is where you come into the block. This is where, I'm sorry. This is where you come into the block. If you look at my pointer and you come into the block, there's a house here, there's a house here. Come further down, there's a house here, there's a house here. And then it's a cul-de-sac. He thought he was buying this piece of land right here for $5,000 to build a house on. And then, of course, there's a cul-de-sac. It goes around, and then you come out. It's all a private little neighborhood. Well, like I said, because it was owned by HOA, and at the time it wasn't people owning pieces, the HOA owned it all, and they, I guess, maintained it or whatever it was. Okay. And they thought they were selling this plot of land, but when they sold it to him, he owned this or all. So now they have a problem, and now they want to take it from them instead of even giving him fair market value, because now he now owns all of these. Okay. And they thought they were just selling him this. And I really do, to be honest with you, hope that somebody reaches out to help him, whatever type of legal help he needs to whatever to fight off the city, because it's going to be very, very hard for one individual to fight off any city. It could be anything. It's going to be hard for one person. But I mean, if it listen, it was a mistake. It was done. It was done. It is what it is. If we would have made that mistake and sold the city, the whole neighborhood, where we thought we was just selling them one house, we wouldn't be able to get it back. We would not be able to reverse it. Absolutely not. We wouldn't be. So why should they? Why should they? It was auction. Why should they? So I don't know. I hope that, like again, I hope that someone really does reach out for him and assists him in that manner. And I hope it works out for him. But we'll hear about it, I'm sure, a little bit more. Okay, so we're going to take it to the schools. There's been a lot of little things going on with the schools. Okay, well, we have an assistant principal charged after forcing a 6-year-old to clean up her own waste after being sickened by a dairy allergy. Okay. So this right here, this is Christy Scott Gilpin. She's a assistant principal. This is her. She's an assistant principal in Baton Rouge in Louisiana. Okay. So this is her. Now, she says Christy Scott Gilpin turned herself into police on Monday, but her lawyer claims the incident is being misrepresented. Okay, so they claim it's being misrepresented. She's claiming that the student has disciplinary issues and that she did it on purpose. So she's saying that the little girl has disciplinary issues and that she defecated on herself on purpose, or defecated on the floor on purpose. Okay. Okay. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not going to pretend to be, but I have to keep in mind she's 6 years old. That's first. She's 6. Okay. Oh, okay, let me tell you what this says. This is what it is. The report shows that the police charged Gillipan with a single count of cruelty to juveniles, a felony charge that carries a sentence up to 10 years in prison and a fine up to $1,000 in Louisiana. Okay, she was booked and then released that same day, period. Okay. Gilpin's arrest stems from an alleged incident earlier this year at Rollins Place Elementary School, which she's a vice principal and is approximately 15 miles north of Baton Rouge, listen, the mother of the 6-year-old student at the center of this case claims in a statement last month that Gillipan forced her child to clean up her own feces after the girl had an accident brought on by a dairy allergy. Now, the first thing you would say is, okay, so the vice principal is saying that the little girl she has issues of acting, she has problems of acting up in school. Okay. But again, she's 6. She's not 10, she's not 12, she's 6. Okay. And the thing is, the condition. Well, I'm going to read you this. According to the mom, Shamisha Augustine, that's the mom of the 6-year-old, right? What allegedly happened to her daughter was avoidable since the child had a documented food allergy, and the district was fully aware of her medical condition. So, with that being said, they were aware that she had this allergy and that if she ate certain things, this could happen and possibly would happen, and it happened. So why would you mistreat her or embarrass her when you are aware that this is in her records that she has a dairy allergy? And okay, so the mother goes on to say, on the day of question, Augustine claims her daughter was put in a situation where she consumed something that triggered a medical emergency. As a result, she had an accident, according to the mother, an accident. Okay. Rather than respond with care and compassion, my daughter, a young, innocent child, was humiliated and forced to clean her own feces. No child should ever be treated with such disregard and cruelty, Augustine alleged in a statement in which she pushed for criminal charges. Well, you know what? I don't know. I don't. Right now, I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't understand what situation it could have occurred at this time where the vice principal would make a 6-year-old clean up her own feces, other than to humiliate her, to embarrass her, to prove a point. And then at some point, the adult in you and the training that you are supposed to have with kids and young adults being a vice principal should kick in and say, you know what, this child is 6 years old. That's what I'm thinking. Even those of us that are not trained to deal with children in that manner, at some point, the adult in us has to kick in and say, you know what, I'm dealing with a child. I'm dealing with someone whose brain isn't completely developed. They're still learning. Of course, kids are going to test you. Of course, kids they're not going to do anything that we haven't done. Isn't it? Don't we do the same things our parents did and they didn't get away with it, and neither did we. But every generation thinks that we're going to do it better than the one before. And as we go down the road, we understand, Mom, you did the same thing and didn't get away with it. I did the same thing. My son did. It goes on and on and on. So, yeah. So, I mean, it comes to, again, who's really, besides the degrees And being able to sit in these classes and take these classes and get the degrees to say that we're capable of dealing with our kids, but to actually have the experience and the um, patience to deal with the kids is something totally different. Sure, you could have all that education in the world, but do you have the patience? Do you have the compassion? Some of that is compassion. You don't know what some of these kids go home to or where they come to you. Sometimes school is the outlet. Sometimes home can be hell and school is the outlet. And then you come to school and you're bullied and embarrassed or you don't know where to go. That's a lot to put on a kid, especially a 6 or 7 year old who doesn't know. So again, I just wanted to put that out. So I know a lot of us have Easy Pass, right? And listen, I don't understand. Easy Pass has been getting away with murder forever, if you ask me. And those of us that live places where we have to constantly pay tolls, maybe in New York, maybe not. Well, in New York, yeah, you do. Everywhere now, can't cross the bridge without paying a toll. Congestion pricing. Okay, so yeah, so Easy Pass is in all of our lives at this point, right? Okay, well, um, mm, this is what I'm gonna show you. Easy Pass license plate reader incorrectly sends bill to wrong driver. Okay. Now we are talking about the license plate reader. We're talking about we have, of course, when you're driving through the thing, they have the scanner that's up top that catches your Easy Pass that's supposed to be in your window. And then there's also one lower that catches the reader, that catches your license plate. Okay. So apparently this has happened in Baltimore. Okay. So a driver couldn't renew her registration because she owed over $1,400 in tolls, except the violations belong to someone else. So on paper, Contitria Turner is a chronic toll violator. In reality, she hardly ever takes a toll road, which means a toll road, a road that leads to or from a toll. I learned that because I live in New Jersey. New York, I didn't know. Okay, don't play. So, this is the problem. And apparently, this has been going on for a few years. Okay. So Miss Turner says, I don't even live near a toll road. My job is literally 30 minutes away from my home. It's in Rosedale. There are no toll roads to get to Rosedale, Maryland at all. She works in Rosedale, Maryland. Okay. So she really has no reason to even take a toll. So she doesn't understand why this is happening to her. But yet she discovered she owed $1,481 in overdue tolls, including $1,175 in civil penalties, preventing her from renewing her expired registration because of the toll flag, right? She said, I noticed that the license plate that was my, that okay. I noticed that the license plate was not my license plate. So my three letters are 6EA. And they were telling me I owe tolls for a license plate starting with 6FA. Okay. So she's 6EA, but 6FA is running tolls, but she's getting the bill. She said this problem dates back to 2021, the first time she called customer service and was unable to get the tolls cleared. But in January of 2024, she asked for assistance through the news, which got her assistance. But I don't know about Baltimore or Maryland, but here in New Jersey, we have to renew our registration every year. So I don't even know how that happened from 2021 to 2024. That would have been caught up with us. But what I will say is, apparently that's a problem across the board because even if you take the same route to work every day, and if you pay a toll, just if you pay a toll, you will not use the same toll plaza every time. You know, they have 6 toll plazas. If you're coming, you're taking this same toll every day, you won't take the same one every time. You'll go through different ones. And if it's still reading an a F and yours is an E, then that's across the board. That's not just one thing that's keep reading me wrong for years. So that seems like there's a problem across the board. And if that's a problem and it's been going on for years, I doubt if she's the only one. You know what I mean? But again, you have to read your statements. You can't just now just say, oh, approximately, and just pay bills, not me going over it, because you'd be amazed. A lot of that stuff ain't yours. It has nothing to do with you. And you're like, whatever. So I'm sure that a lot of you guys, and I'm sure I'm not surprising you about anything. Nothing surprises us at this point, right? Well, I'm sure I'm not surprising you about Jonathan Majors and Megan Good allegedly being married. So again, Jonathan Majors and Megan Good wedding attended by 4 people. Okay. When I heard it, I'm gonna be honest with you, I really wasn't surprised. Mm, and I say that because, okay, Megan just got out of a marriage, what, 2 years ago or so, maybe more, maybe a little bit more. And she was married to a minister, and I don't know if he's a pastor or not, but I know he's a minister, all right? So he's also engaged to be married. And I kind of understood his, just to get off a little bit, and I don't want it to seem like I understood his but didn't understand her. I understood his a little more, only because I come from a religious family. So I understand that there's a conflict. Like me growing up, my family wouldn't attend a church where the pastor was single. Just something that was old school. And nor you didn't even find that many churches where the pastors were single. It was just too much temptation. It wasn't a great place to be. But however, I have been to churches where the first lady had passed on and the pastor is now single. And baby, they was on them. The women was on them hills to be first lady. Okay. And we all know that first families are treated like royalty, as they should, within reason, right? But okay, so I understood him being engaged and wanting to get married. It just, it looks better for a minister and for a pastor to be married, okay? But for Megan, I thought she was living her life, but it seems like from the time that I heard that she was with Jonathan Majors, he was already going through what he was going through with the assault with his ex-girlfriend, right? So it seemed like the honeymoon stage of them getting together was all overstaged with the courts and all cameras and eyes on them, and his career being ruined and nobody wanted to hire him and people are firing him and things like that. So I figured now that everything worked out in favor, and he now has a new movie. I think it should supposedly, allegedly be his comeback movie, which starts today, I believe, where he's a bodybuilder, which I thought he would be perfect for. I don't know much about Jonathan Majors, but again, I just felt like, Megan, why do you have to marry him? Why you spent your honeymoon dating him under the scrutiny of him going to court and fighting this case and all of that. Now that that's gone and now he's getting his career back in order and he's on his comeback, why not now just date and spend some time together and enjoy life? But then, if you don't understand, early in the week or late last week, the recording came out of nowhere of a recording of him with his ex-girlfriend with the assault case where he's supposedly admitting to assaulting her, which I heard the tape and I didn't seem like he admitted to anything. He used some words, but I wasn't convinced that he admitted anything, okay? Because what I remember is the tape where they were allegedly fighting over his phone. She snatched his phone. They were in a cab. She snatched his phone. He snatched it back. She snatched it back. And it was the matter of him getting his phone. He got his phone back and he jumped out of the cab, and was running. And on camera, we saw this Caucasian woman, his girlfriend at the time, running after him. We don't usually run after someone that's assaulting us. We run away from. So that's what I remember seeing. I'm just saying. Okay. So, I just thought that this would be the time that you would want to, spend some time together. But so again, this recording came out. So, and I thought that I was like, child, this recording would have maybe served her some purpose or some help if it had came out during the case. Hello, here it is now, a week before his comeback movie, and now this would have been helpful for her during the case. Why now? Why now? So I felt it was a smear campaign. They were trying, to change the narrative and ruin his, his new move, which didn't work. Didn't nobody care about it. Didn't nobody believe it. But I also think that Megan was like, you know what, or he was like, or somebody was like, you know what, y'all need to get married. That's going to shut all this down. Okay, all they're going to be able to talk about is his new movie and you guys getting married. And there you are. That's my opinion. That's allegedly. I'm not saying she doesn't love him and he doesn't love her, because I actually watched a small part of an interview with him, and he stated that he really loves her, and I don't doubt that. But you usually do really love people that's there for you when no one else was. It was a trauma bond. Um, but nevertheless, allegedly, he said that when he met her family, the family stated, like, she loves you, we love you. And he said they embraced him and took him in, and he said that was, he was at the worst time of his life, so he needed that, and they saved him. And I get that. That's trauma bonding. But I don't feel that you guys had to get married. But okay, whatever it is, listen, love is love. If that's what it is for you, I'm just giving my opinion, and it is what it is. We all got one. Good luck. I wish you luck on it. I do. I just, you know, hey, again, good luck. I wish you guys luck. And the day goes on. Okay. Okay. So now we've actually had, I actually did a story on something like this some months ago. Well, now it's the church daycare centers now. So it's the parishioners now. Okay. They is trying to drug the kids. Okay. So church daycare, church daycare shut down after worker gives toddlers Benadryl to make them sleepy for nap time. Now, of course, seriously, this is not the first time we've heard of something like this. I know it isn't. And like I said, I don't quite remember, but I did a story about this a few months ago. But come on, you're at the church now. The other story wasn't at the church. You're at the church. You're at the church. I mean, people don't have patience. They just, I don't get it. Okay, so this is in Georgia, people. A Georgia church's daycare program has been temporarily shut down, and its leadership team has been arrested for allegedly giving toddlers Benadryl to make them sleepy for their nap time, authorities state. Okay? The daycare at Forsyth Methodist Church has been temporarily shuttered by the Department of Early Care and Learning for placing the health, the safety, and the welfare of children in imminent danger, local media reports. Okay, so the child care agency ordered on March 10th, 2025 came one day after Monroe County Sheriff's Office announced an employee at the daycare center was administering Benadryl to toddlers to make them sleepy for their nap time. Police accused daycare teacher Kadaja Hughley for giving the drug, which is advised not to be given to children under the age of 6 without the consent of a doctor. This has been given to 3 2-year-old toddlers, and on March 6th, given again before lunchtime so they would be sleepy come nap time. The sheriff determined Hughley to be given the children's Benadryl after reviewing surveillance footage and speaking with witnesses. Parents reported their toddlers seemed sluggish and not normal when they picked them up from daycare on multiple occasions, and had spoke to staff, and was told that the parents was told that their children, they were never told that their children were giving any medication. Okay, so you noticed that your kid was groggy, sluggish, and not normal on multiple times when you picked your kid up. And you just took their word. It alarmed you enough to bring it up to the teachers and to the staff that something's weird because it's been more than once. But that you left it at them with them saying whatever they say, but they never admitted to giving them anything, and that was enough. Listen, I know childcare is very, very expensive, and I'm going to be honest with you. I've worked places where it's a two-family household, and the husband may make a really good salary, and that's for the family, and the wife may make a decent salary, but that's more so for health insurance and childcare. That's what her salary consists of. And if you have multiple children, 1, 2, 3 children, it can be a lot. So that's why it can be someone's salary, that and healthcare. So I understand. I honestly understand. I've seen some of the prices for childcare. But you know what? You just can't leave your kids with anybody. What's the sense of you leaving them for childcare if you're leaving them with just anybody? If that's the case, you might as well just get a next door neighbor to leave your kids with. I mean, honestly, right? I told you, I think my lips, to me, they look chapped, but nevertheless. Yeah, kid, like, come on, people. Come on. And now they're doing it in church. It's church. Look, when I read this article, right? Now, this same article I'm talking about, when they said that the church's daycare leadership team was arrested, that must have been one old sight. The whole leadership team. Okay, so we're going to move on. Are y'all aware that Gladys Knight, Shaka Khan, Patti LaBelle, Stephanie Mills, they are going on tour. They announced that they're going on tour. It's the Queen's Tour, 4 legends, 1 stage. And I thought when I heard about it, I said, Gladys Knight, Shaka Khan, Patti LaBelle, Stephanie Mills. Not bad. And that can actually go down for different fours, like different. That was for one age group, then you go to the next age group, like you do it for the 80s, you do it for the 90s, you do it for the 2010s, 4 different groups, you know what I mean? But nevertheless, yeah, me personally, like I heard another YouTuber talking about it, and they did a poll on who could be left out off of this, like which of the 4 you could do without. I'm not going to do that because I think all of them are necessary in their own right. I just do. But I don't personally think that this would be a concert for me, even though I've liked them all individual and I've seen them all in concert individual. However, for me to sit through a concert with Gladys Knight, Shaka Khan, Through the Fire, Patti LaBelle, If Only You Knew, Stephanie Mills, Home, I'd be ready to slip my wrist. I ain't even gonna lie to you. That music is too melancholy. It ain't nothing for me to stand up and you can't even do a 2-step to most of that stuff. If you think of it, like really, they might got a point, but because trust me, they ain't gonna be able to do all these songs. Nah, child, no. But I'm gonna give you some tour dates, okay? Just in case, because I know my viewers are everywhere. What? Okay, so Las Vegas, May 9th. Oakland, California, May 10th. Los Angeles, California, May 11th. Columbus, South Carolina, May 16th. Birmingham, Alabama, May 17th. Nashville, Tennessee, May 18th. Baltimore, Maryland, May 23rd. Brooklyn, New York, May 24th. Chicago, Illinois, May 30th. Cincinnati, Ohio, May 31st. June 1st. Indianapolis, Indiana. Now, this is supposed to be the first stretch. If this does well, then maybe they'll announce a second stretch. I think, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 different shows, 11 different cities. I'm not really mad at that. And these are women of a certain age. Let's be for real. We talking about Gladys. I'm not being shady and funny. We talk about Gladys Knight and Patti LaBelle. We talking about 70s, right? And Stephanie Mills, and I'm not even gonna go there with Asians because that's not even right. But nevertheless, we're talking about women of a certain age. So to have 11 dates for their first go at it is great, and I'm sure that a lot of you guys, especially in my followers in my age group, because I'm with it, but don't I, you know. Mm-mm. I know somebody will be like, "I got your ticket, come me." It's not about the ticket. I mm-mm, mm-mm. I like them all. Don't get me wrong. Mm-mm, mm-mm. But anyway, I love you guys. I want you guys to stay intentional. I enjoy bringing you these stories and talking with you and spending time with you. I can't wait for my subscriptions, for my subscribers to go up. I'm waiting for it to get to a certain number so I can actually go live with you guys. So we can go back and forth, and it's good. I love you guys. Stay intentional, be intentional. And I will speak to you guys soon. Have a great, safe weekend. And have a great weekend on purpose. Do it on purpose. Know that it's going to be that. Okay? Enjoy. Love you.